In the remote, icy expanse of Antarctica, where temperatures plummet below -70 degrees Celsius and the sun can vanish for months, countries around the world are quietly building bases and expanding their footprints. A continent once seen as inhospitable and barren is suddenly witnessing unprecedented human activity. Why? What hidden motivations could drive governments to invest billions in this frozen frontier? The race to stake a claim in Antarctica is underway, and the implications reach far beyond science. Today, we explore who is building in Antarctica, what they're hoping to achieve, and what it means for the future of this fragile and mysterious land. Let's begin with the basics. Antarctica is the fifth largest continent, spanning a landmass of about 5.5 million square miles. Yet, it is distinct from every other continent in the world. Its environment is so extreme that no indigenous human population has ever called it home. With temperatures that can drop to -128 degrees Fahrenheit and winds that regularly exceed 200 miles per hour, surviving here is a feat unto itself. What makes Antarctica so valuable that countries are willing to brave these punishing conditions? Antarctica holds the Earth's most pristine environment, a window into ancient climates, and treasure trove of natural resources locked beneath layers of ice. But these resources are not easy to access. Oil, gas, rare minerals, and fresh water may lie under miles of ice, but it takes immense technological and financial resources to even consider reaching them. For now, international laws prevent countries from extracting these resources, but that might not remain the case forever. Adding to the intrigue is the scientific significance of Antarctica. Researchers here study the effects of climate change on polar ice, the history of Earth's atmosphere through ice cores, and even the potential for life beyond our planet through unique subglacial environments. Antarctica is an unparalleled research hub, yet many suspect that these scientific goals are increasingly intertwined with geopolitical ambitions. In 1959, the Antarctic Treaty was signed to prevent any single nation from claiming ownership of Antarctica. Its groundbreaking principles set Antarctica aside as a zone for peace and science. The treaty, effective since 1961, prohibits military operations, nuclear tests, and the extraction of mineral resources. With the participation of 54 nations, it ensures that Antarctica remains free from territorial disputes and international conflict. But times are changing. The Antarctic Treaty has no expiration date, but there are signs that countries are quietly positioning themselves for a time when the continent might not be as restricted. Despite the treaty's prohibition on military activities, research stations are increasingly advanced, with facilities and equipment that could easily be repurposed for strategic use. Moreover, the treaty doesn't stop countries from conducting surveys that could later support resource extraction claims. For example, some countries have invested in radar and satellite technology to map Antarctic subsoil. Others are exploring logistics and building robust supply chains to support year-round, large-scale presence. These actions might not be in violation of the treaty, but they are clear indicators of long-term interests that go beyond scientific research. This brings us to the question of who the major players are in this Antarctic land grab and what they're building there. With around 100 research stations and counting, Antarctica hosts a global community of scientists and explorers from over 30 countries. However, a few nations stand out for their significant investments and ambitions on the continent. The U.S. operates 3 main research stations, including McMurdo Station, which is almost a small city in itself. McMurdo, located on the edge of the Ross Ice Shelf, serves as a logistics hub for American research across the continent. The U.S. investment in Antarctica is substantial, and it is often seen as a symbol of geopolitical power. Some argue that America's presence here is part of a broader strategy to maintain dominance in key global regions. The scientific work at McMurdo is critical, with researchers studying climate patterns, biology, and space science, using high-tech observatories to study cosmic rays and neutrinos. Russia's presence in Antarctica dates back to Soviet times, with Vostok Station serving as one of the most well-known Russian bases. Located in the interior of the continent, Vostok is one of the most isolated places on Earth. In recent years, Russia has renewed its efforts in Antarctica, establishing state-of-the-art facilities and conducting drilling projects in Lake Vostok, a massive subglacial lake that hasn't been exposed to the atmosphere for millions of years. While the official Russian agenda is scientific, Their focus on subglacial lakes and mineral deposits has led to speculation that Russia is positioning itself for future resource claims in Antarctica. China is a newer player but has established a formidable presence in Antarctica, with 5 research stations and plans to expand further. China's investment in Antarctic infrastructure is substantial, and it has been advancing in logistical capabilities and research technology. Unlike other nations, China has been less transparent about its activities and goals on the continent, raising questions about whether its Antarctic ambitions are purely scientific. Chinese research stations are involved in climate studies and biological research, but they are also equipped with satellite and radar systems, hinting at strategic interests that could influence Antarctica's future. Countries like India, South Korea, and Brazil may not have the extensive infrastructure seen in the US or Russia, but they have a clear presence. India's Bardi Station and South Korea's Jangbogo Station represent their commitment to Antarctic science and future opportunities. Brazil's commitment to a new research station after a fire destroyed its previous one shows that even smaller economies see value in maintaining a presence here. These emerging players add complexity to the dynamics on the continent, as they too may see long-term economic or strategic advantages in Antarctica. Together, these countries are creating a complex and competitive landscape in a place once thought too remote for power struggles. What's behind this renewed interest in Antarctica, and why now? Several factors are converging to make Antarctica a high-priority area for nations around the world. Antarctica's icy shield hides vast mineral wealth. Geologists believe there are reserves of oil, natural gas, copper, uranium, and even rare earth elements beneath the Antarctic ice. With global demand for these resources rising and some existing reserves nearing depletion, Antarctica's mineral deposits could be highly valuable. The Antarctic Treaty currently bans mining, but the possibility of future access is enough to draw the attention of resource-hungry nations. Antarctica holds approximately 70% of the world's freshwater. As freshwater sources become scarce due to overpopulation, pollution, and climate change, Antarctica's ice could be seen as a crucial reserve. Harvesting Antarctic ice for fresh water may sound ambitious, but in a world where water scarcity is rising, it could one day become a reality. The scientific benefits of studying Antarctica are immense. Ice cores extracted from deep below the Antarctic ice sheet hold information about the Earth's climate for nearly 1 million years. This data helps scientists predict future climate changes and their global impacts. Furthermore, the study of Antarctic ecosystems, including extremophiles that survive in sub-zero conditions, may have applications ranging from medicine to the search for life on other planets. While military activity is banned in Antarctica, some countries might see the continent as a strategic location for surveillance and satellite monitoring. With increasing geopolitical tensions, some argue that the continent's unique vantage point could provide strategic advantages in space and communications technology. Finally, advancements in technology make it possible to conduct research in Antarctica year-round. New developments in autonomous drones, robotics, and satellite technology mean that countries can gather data without needing as many people on the ground. These technological advancements have allowed countries to build more permanent and sustainable facilities in the harsh Antarctic environment. With so much investment and interest, what does the future hold for Antarctica? As climate change melts Antarctic ice and opens up potential access to resources, nations may increasingly view the continent as an asset rather than a scientific preserve. If the Antarctic Treaty were ever amended or abandoned, there could be a rush to exploit these resources. Some experts predict that as climate change progresses, Antarctica's role could shift from a remote research zone to a strategic battleground for resources and influence. The presence of robust infrastructure today may become leverage in a future debate over ownership and exploitation rights. And while the environmental implications of extracting resources from Antarctica would be catastrophic, it remains unclear if international agreements will continue to hold in the face of global demand. The future of Antarctica is a delicate balance between preservation and exploitation, science and politics. The stakes are higher than ever before, and the world is watching closely as nations build their presence on this frozen frontier. What will be the legacy of humanity in Antarctica? a testament to cooperation, or a warning of unchecked ambition? Thank you for watching. If you found this deep dive into Antarctica's growing geopolitical importance insightful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.